How you doing, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is You Too Can Be Great. Welcome. Now, this is the Real Housewives of Potomac season 5, episode 10 review. I'm so sorry if I look a mess. It's nighttime. It's been a long day. I looked fresher earlier on. Now I just want to do this review, take a shower, and go to sleep and mind my business. Now, after I'm done talking about other people's business, right? So, the episode that I did today was more so recapping. It's almost like a cleanup of what's going to happen. I feel like this episode I did today was more so for Monique to clear herself, or at least try to, so they can make the decision whether or not they want her to stay in the franchise or whether or not they want her to stay in Potomac. Because it's like, I don't think that Bravo wants to let her go. I don't, because I think that she brings more ratings as well with the drama that her and Candace are causing. But that's just my opinion. Before I start this review, I have a couple things. I'm gonna have y'all watch the video. The video I was talking about, I wanted you guys to hear last time about Andy when he was interviewing Candace. I found the video. I'm gonna show y'all before I start. Additional to that, let me just say that I finally got my books out. Y'all know about the Just Add Pepper, the first book by A.S. Blaine. This one was fiction. Now, it is a romance erotic novel. I did not model it about, after me or my personal life, my personal choices. I love the Lord. Hell, I went to church today. So when you read it, make sure that you don't look at me and judge me for the things that are in this book. This is part 1. Part 2, I published this one last year, and I put the link below for people who can go to Amazon. It's available on Kindle and paperback for those of you who liked romance and stories, and I've heard good things about it. Now, the second part of this book is a trilogy I just published a couple weeks ago. It's called Sage, all right, by A.S. Blaine as well. I'm gonna post the link below for you guys to go ahead and get the second one. For those of you who had the first, if you want to know how the trilogy ends, I'm working on the third one right now, hoping to get that one out by next year. But I also published my first nonfiction based on a true story. It's kind of like a Black history book for us, dating as far back as the scriptures. I put everything in here. Things that you don't know that are out there, information that you would have had to like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this, are all in this book. It's not a generic story about slavery and stuff like that. It's for real, all these crazy information that people are like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was out there. They're all in here. And I put pictures in it as well. It's called Unleashed by Adiya, Bat-Tziyon. Again, the link is going to be in the description for you guys to go ahead and check it out. That's my news for y'all. I hope you guys enjoy it. I did work hard on it. I think it's a good, all 3 books are very good. The third one is just very much more knowledgeable than entertainment, right? Now, with the video I told y'all about with Andy that I wanted to go ahead and show y'all, when Andy was talking to Candace a little bit after the fight, he just wanted to get an idea of what he, where her head is at after the fact. And so he did this brief interview with her. It was about 2 minutes long. Let me just pull it up real quick because I had saved it. I put it as watch later, but for some reason I can't seem to find mine. Hold on. Where is it? Give me 2 seconds. Hey, yo, Auntie. Andy, where you at? Ah, there it is.
Candace, I want to get some questions in about where we're at now, or where we were when the episode ended. Wendy had you put down the knife and also tried to take your glass of wine from you. Was that something that you were aware of her doing? And are you glad she did that, or what was your reaction to that?
It was interesting watching that part because I don't remember feeling like the knife was going to become an issue. I was obviously a little tipsy. We had all been drinking. We'd all been sipping wine. We were all a little tipsy. And, I'm notorious for tapping on glass because I've done it in other scenes. And that was my attempt, my failed attempt to just sort of be comedic about it and be sort of whatever about the situation and make it funny, so as not to make it become what she wanted it
not to escalate it, right? Do you think there's anything that you could have done differently that would have prevented the confrontation or how it escalated?
I mean, I could say that I could have done what I did in the previous week's episode, which is walk away. But Monique, as you all have seen in, the compounding episodes, she tried at every turn to start a fight, to start an argument, to start drama. She was waiting for an opportunity, if you ask me, to have her day and have her moment. And make up for lost time.
Is there any accountability on your part for saying to Monique to drag you?
You mean as far as, are you saying that if I had not said that, she would not have done what she did?
Well, I'm asking you if you feel like people may watch and feel like that was a provoking statement.
Well, yes, people have said to me that, well, you asked to be dragged, so you got dragged. So let's go back to the moment when she threatened to drag me 8 months pregnant when I was having a conversation with someone that was not her, that she walked into and escalated that conversation and that situation, and then threatened to hit me in the face with a glass bottle. So the short answer is no. I don't believe that me quoting a violent pregnant person deserves or warrants me being violently attacked.
Okay, now I'm gonna find one more video for y'all that I want you guys to see, because I told you this review is gonna be long, before I go ahead and I do my review, because I feel like people need to like recap on some of the stuff that we've seen that way.
You have the nerve to say that my husband was lying and faking, talking about our miscarriage?
Yeah, I felt and I feel as though Michael's
Can we get the salad first?
Right, I want to eat. If we're going to go there, we're going to go.
Yeah, because I'm in your home and you said all these things about me, so I'm like, how am I going to sit here with this elephant in the room?
The elephant's on the table. We can talk about it.
Yeah, so let's address
we
it.
can talk about it.
Yes.
I felt like Michael was lying. I feel like Michael was putting on. I feel like
For
in
who?
general.
For who?
For
For
the
you?
congregation. For the congregation.
For who? This
the
was an
congregation.
intimate conversation between me and my husband. And so why were your eyes peeping over on our section in our area?
Because you got on the mic. You got on the mic.
Did you see
Actually
Michael cry?
on the mic.
Did you see Michael cry?
With all the tears.
Did you decide to make it? Did you decide to make it your business to watch my husband?
Just hurry to eat. So.
John didn't have anything going on over there. Doesn't mean he involved in my conversation.
Michael was going away. You told everybody that Michael was crying. You told everybody Michael was crying. You said that. That was public information.
But why is it any of your business anyway?
Okay, this is my other issue.
Lay it.
My issue with you, Ashley, is that you have purported yourself to be in this group the person.
We're going to bless the food real quickly. Lord, thank you for all the food on the entire table.
Father
God, cover this with the blood.
I want to know everything.
Let us have a
When
great-
I ask you for the truth, you want to come at me with this whole... Mind your business.
Candace, are you really...
Mind your business.
Honestly, you're telling me that you know exactly what my body's feeling?
No, I don't.
When your mom is
No, I
still
do
taking
not.
care of... I'm in your mama's house right now.
You will not talk about my mother.
Do not ruin your mama's house. Don't ruin your mama's house.
You will not talk about my mother in my home. My mother in my home.
Where is that argument? Hold on.
It's like feeling like age, like I would never.
I do have
Watching the whole.
Where is it?
wrap on or something like that. Katie,
Oh, I don't think that was the right video. There was one when that little dinner table that they were having where I wanted to show y'all where Candace had grabbed when Candace had grabbed a knife and she was actually pointing it towards Ashley during that argument at the table when when she revealed that Michael was talking about how he wanted to get a pee-pee in his mouth, right? So with that said, I wanted to show y'all the different levels of fuckery that has occurred in this reality TV show before I proceed, because this is what it is. It's a reality TV show. This is not, we're not on The View. We're not on some, Iyanla Fix My Life. We're not doing that. This is a reality TV show. Reality TV shows are progressing based on the little drama that occurs. This fighting or argument doesn't only happen in Potomac. So with that said, let me get into the review. So we start off with, this is 5 days after the fight, right? Candace is in her home, Kenya Moore style, playing the victim. She says that she considered Monique to be like a sister because Monique did refer to her as a sister. In that sense, girl, I have 5 sisters, okay? I've been in fights with him. We have had disagreements to where we have gotten to scrapping. I didn't grab a knife. I didn't hit him over the head with a bottle. We were just, you know, scrapping, grabbing hair, punching each other. It wasn't that serious. So if you're going to look at Monique as sisters do have sisterly fights. So I don't know why this is something that you're really going above and beyond to make it seem like somebody tried to, you know, stalk you or something like that. But let's keep going. At Monique's house, Monique is basically using the lie that a glass hit her lip and basically insinuating that Candace was the one who had the glass and hit her lip, which we find out later that was not true. Candace had, according to Robin, white wine and Monique had red wine. The wine that hit Monique was red, and that's because of all the chaos that was happening at that little fight. Last episode, one of the bottles had hit her on the lip, and it wasn't Candace that did it. So basically, they wanted her to accept the responsibility that when it comes to any physical attack, physically, she was the one that did it first in response to whatever the hell she felt Candace was doing. Now, Monique decides to call Karen, which Karen, out of all these Potomac girls, is my favorite. I don't usually think about these. I don't think about these girls when I go, you know, after my review, I go live my life, and you guys leave your comments, let me know what you think and what you don't think, right? I go back and I live my life. I'm entitled to my own opinion. It could be different from your own, and it's okay. I just move on. But the only person that I can actually say that I like in this series consistently is Karen. I've had moments where I've liked Monique. I've had moments where I've liked Candace. I've even had moments where I thought, you know, Ashley was pretty cool. But in general, Karen was my thing. And I'm going to cuss out Giselle in a moment, but I'm going to get to that one. But Karen decides to host the gathering so Monique can explain herself as to why she did what she did with regards to fight, because this is the cleanup crew. This is the Potomac that wants to say that they're they're the posh people that don't fight. As black people, we don't do that. So they want Monique to come and basically explain herself and basically beg for some kind of acceptance or something, which I thought was stupid, but here we go. Robin, Giselle, and new girl Wendy are, of course, not Team Monique because they're just against physical altercations in its entirety. The thing is, with the mentality that Robin, Giselle, and Wendy have, personally, I feel like it's a racist mentality. Because the racism comes in perpetuating African American males and especially females as being these aggressive people that just lash out. There's always that story that comes out that says, oh, she's a black woman, she's beating somebody's ass. But the other side of it, of why that happened, is always ignored. Am I saying that it's okay for people to just go and be hitting people? No, because I don't go around hitting people. I don't. So I can't say that that's the right thing. But personally, I do know that I could be in certain situations. If I don't remove myself from there, there is a great chance that physical violence is a possibility, and I will risk everything, and it's just going to be what it is. Now, I've been around people who've been to prison, and they tell me you need to move around this life understanding that violence is always a possibility in any circumstance. You just have to be mindful of those circumstances. You can't expect somebody to react to certain situations the same way as you. So when you approach them the way that you would like them to approach you in all circumstances. Now, I walk through life with that motto. That's how I was raised. If I don't want a man to put a hand on me, I don't put a hand on him. If I don't want somebody cussing me out, I don't cuss them out. I do what I want people to do to me. So this idea that as black people, we're just out here just beating people's ass. I don't just walk out the house and go and fight somebody. Usually there's something behind it. And I think that's always ignored and making it seem like we're the only ones that fight. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of New York. Y'all watch all those series. Some of them have even attacked Andy during the reunion. But those stereotypes are not attributed to those women, only when it looks like us. And so I don't agree with that BS. Now, Karen calls Candace to let her know about the sit down just as a courtesy call. And in the midst of the conversation, Candace said that she's already talked to all the girls and she's gotten their opinion. She shared her side. And she decides to vilify Monique and say that Monique, 90-pound self, is so dangerous. She's so unpredictable. She's scared for her life. Basically, she's building a case. That's what that is. We've since found out the case was dismissed because clearly she's also an aggressor as well. Aggressiveness comes in different forms. Physical violence is not the only violence you can attribute to another human being. There's a mental aspect of it. There's also verbal violence. You cannot verbally assault someone and then don't expect them to physically assault you or react in a different manner. There's also emotional assault. All those are a factor when it comes to provoking somebody and getting certain types of responses. Candace, I think in her head, has convinced herself that her verbal assaults aren't okay. It's not that serious. It's not that bad. Do I think that Monique should have hit Candace? No. Do I think Candace talks too much? Yes. Candace talks too much. And I know that some people are kind of perplexed that I'm not going around in my videos saying, oh, Monique should have never hit her, da 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 da. I'm not doing that because I'm not Monique. I don't know what she's been through in her life for her to get to the point to where she can allow herself to let somebody talk to her some type of way and then react that way. I've been called every name in the book, and I haven't felt the need to react. The only time I react is if I feel like somebody I love is being attacked or bullied, then I react. But that's just me. Candace, I think, feels like she can do whatever she wants to do, just like Kenya Moore. Kenya had that horn in front of Portia's face when Portia was going through stuff in her life, and she got dragged. And Candace in this altercation, drag me, Monique, you're going to drag me? There's certain people that are going to react a certain way. So if you don't ever want to find yourself in a hostile situation, you need to basically, act accordingly. And I did watch an interview that said that there were some of the cast, the crew members that even during this season, during filming, because this fight that Monique had, people say it wasn't about the rumor that Gigi started. It wasn't about the rumor that Gigi started because Gigi started it and Charisse helped circulate it and Candace fed into it by being on the phone for 2 hours and basically trying to get some tea because she's nosy like that. But in the interview that I saw, which is why I have the opinion I have sometimes, we find out that there's some parts of the Potomac that we don't see where both Giselle and Candace had constantly tried to bring up this whole Gigi rumor during the season. They just didn't show some of the parts. Monique knew about it because Ashley had called her privately outside of the show when it was still filming, before we even got the little clips and beats of it, and told her that they were actually trying to get Ashley to say something about this whole Gigi rumor herself. She refused, her and Michael, and then called Monique to give her a heads up. Y'all remember when the fight happened, I think Karen said something like, you should have walked around the table, to get to Candace. There's something that they know. I feel like they know. They may not agree with how Monique responded to it, but there's something that they know that Candace is doing that would have triggered her to the point where Monique said, I've had enough. I've had enough. Now, Candace picked a fight with Monique while Monique was with a child. We know that. During that conversation that they had when Monique was, I think, about 8 months pregnant, Monique was talking to her, as in talking to her, having a conversation with her. And Candace decided to yell at her and went off on her, and they end up arguing. And she's like, she's pregnant. You're arguing with a pregnant woman. In that conversation, I don't think Monique didn't approach her with hostility. I saw that episode. Monique approached her, conversating with her, saying, basically trying to say, I don't know why you're acting this way. She wasn't rude to her until Candace was rude to her while she's pregnant. So this whole facade that Monique is this crazy person that was just, I'm not going for that. Now, they have to sit down at Karen's house. Giselle with her fake ass shows up with security. Are you serious? Giselle, excuse my French, but fuck you, bitch. Okay? Giselle is an asshole because she does a lot of instigating a lot. Probably to keep her on the show, she can keep getting her coins. For you to sit up there and have a whole bodyguard with a bunch of females in a room that, acting like trying to give this impression that Monique is just this super violent person. Oh my God. It's been 5 seasons, okay? And this girl is not walking around whooping people's asses every season. For you to have a whole security guard there, you're full of shit, and you're trying to basically front and act like you out here scared and girl, bye. You need to have that security guard in front of you when Jamal is there so you don't catch something. Now, Ashley comes in with baby Dean, of course, because she and Monique are cool. She already talked to Monique, and Ashley, as we know, do not like Candace because Candace interfered in her life when she had a miscarriage. I don't think that Ashley has forgiven Candace for that. And I think that Ashley's always going to have a sore spot for Candace and will never take her side, period. I just don't see that happening. And as we see in the mid-season a trailer that we saw, Candace is in another fight, and this time her husband is involved with Ashley and Michael because birds of a feather flock. They said flock the same way. Okay, Ashley's not going to ever be cool with Candace. Candace is never going to ever be really cool with Ashley. So I don't expect Ashley to just, readily defend Candace. I just don't see it happening. Then Robin pulls up and she discusses a tweet that Monique sent right after the fight saying, ask and you shall receive. And she's speaking on it in the sense that Monique is not remorseful. I could have told you that. Monique's ass ain't remorseful. I can imagine that I'm going to put my hands on somebody and then see I'm remorseful. No, if it gets to the point where I'm going to hit somebody, I'm not sorry. I have to be honest with you. I'm not sorry. If I have, because I'm not the type of person that would just randomly go and be hitting people. I haven't been in a fight in over 16 years, and I'm not 30 years old. Okay, because I've managed to remove myself from certain, I mean, I've been in like little, you know, training fights and stuff like that, maybe arguments, but like I'm in a fight when I'm about to damage somebody, I've kept my distance and just removed myself from that situation, because I don't imagine myself hurting somebody as much as I could hurt them and then go to the hospital when they're there and say, I'm sorry, I hate you, I feel remorseful. I don't feel remorse. I knew exactly what I was doing when it happened. You just, you know, you asked for it. Then we got Dr. Wendy showing up, already mind made up, because she is a spokesperson. She goes out there and she's fought so hard to basically make sure that we don't have this image as black women as being violent. Girl, bye. Have you seen Mob Wives? Reality TV show. Drita's out there beating somebody. Carrie, the way that they talk to each other, you don't see people getting up the stereotype that they're white and they're Albanian or they're Italian or whatever they are, and they're so violent. Stop it. You're feeding into this mindset of telling us who we are. We have society painting a picture of who we are based on rap music, based on hip hop, acting like people on TV are a representation of every single black person out there, or gang members in Chicago or Compton are a representation of every black person out there, and it's a lie. So for you to sit here and now feed off of what social media and what the internet and what society that's not look like this are perpetuating about black women and try to make somebody feel bad about themselves for being themselves. No, we have this way of toning ourselves down to accommodate other people, to make them feel comfortable. And you're part of the problem, Wendy. When you said something like that, I don't approve. Why would you say that? Why don't you just approach Monique and say, yo, Monique, the way that you handled yourself in this situation, it wasn't warranted. The way that Candace talked to you, it was crazy. The things that Candace had been doing in the past, you may have had a grudge, you know, holding on to it. However, for you to react in a physical way, I don't think that this situation warranted it. You may have overreacted. Why didn't you say that? To add the whole, oh, black people think, I'm not going for that bullshit, so I'm not buying that one. You're in a reality TV show. This is what's going to happen, because it's a reality TV show. If you don't want to be a part of it, go on a different show. Then Giselle comes in, and she says that Monique now lowered the African-American standard of what they had when they started this show, that Monique in one act removed all the opinions that we have. Girl, Giselle, from season 1, I've looked at you as a shit starting, full of shit, fake ass human being that I just want to cuss out every single episode I see your ass, because you're a two-faced and you really think so highly of yourself that you're not part of the problem. You talk too much and you're an instigator. Okay, we've seen you from season 1 and we've had a negative opinion about you since season 1. This is season 5. It don't matter who Monique puts a hand on. It does not paint you any nicer than you are. We just don't see you as a decent human being. At least I don't. Giselle and Robin they're the same way. Robin follows Giselle like a damn puppy dog, up her ass, up her booty hole. Everything that Giselle does, she wants to follow. She don't have a mind of her own, period. Now, Giselle tends to say things and do things and hide her hands when things blow up. Giselle is messy. That's why Karen don't fuck with her anymore. So when you're sitting up here saying that Monique fighting gives you a bad name, no, you've given yourself a bad name since the day you started the show. Knock it off. Then Candace goes to see a therapist, Dr. Ken. Dr. Ken, in the middle of the therapy session, she's like, do you have a tissue? Because she's going to start crying. She said that she's been going to this therapist to try and fix the situation that she has with her mom, right? But Candace's mom has told Candace before that she talked too much. That the way that she talks to people, she does too much. Candace's mom has told her that. And it seems like Dr. Kim may have understood that about her character, because he asks a question that even Andy had asked in the video I just showed. He said, and I quote, do you think you did anything to contribute to the behavior you got from Monique? Like, do you think you did anything to contribute? Candace said, no, I didn't. This is the second person that has asked her that question. Do you think that you have done something to contribute? Candace needs to take responsibility for the role that she plays when she runs her mouth in the wrong direction. Your behavior is very childish. And some people that you keep running into are not, you just end up getting the right one. Then she says something like, while she's in therapy, she tells the story of how the fight happens. However, in the story, she did what Monique did. She minimizes the portion where she needs to take responsibility for how she behaved. She minimized it, okay? Didn't show the part where she was running around in circles, doing the absolute most, twirling like Kenya's twirling, picking up stuff like knives. I think at some point she had a knife, you know, she had a finger in her face, stuff like that, like the things that she does. Just because you're handling things differently, the other person's not going to respond to you. They were having a toast and you decided to say something like, well, even if Monique is the one that fell asleep, you started that drama in the first place. It just escalated to a point where you didn't think was going to happen. That's just all that was. Then she says that she doesn't feel safe. Girl, Monique ain't checking for you. Knock it off. unless her Twitter people are going, because, people have had different opinions. There's some people who feel like Monique is wrong, and then there's no excuse for anybody to put their hands on them. And there are other people that feel like Monique was right for the way that she handled Candace. There's been blogs out there. And there's some people that feel like Candace didn't do anything wrong. The only difference is there are people that are attacking probably both of them via Twitter. And Candace is now feeling like she's being bullied or whatever the case is because people are gunning for her. Girl, some people sided with Kenya. Some people sided with Portia. It doesn't matter. You're on TV. You're not going to get responses that are favorable every time. Grow up. Then we had Monique show up to Karen's house to now join the rest of the ladies. Monique decides to start off the conversation by saying that she's embarrassed by how she acted and that she doesn't want this one act to define who she is and how the other ladies perceive her and judge her moving forward, because it's not something that she normally would do, is put her hands on someone, right? Now, and she apologized to them for putting them in harm's way. As she's talking, Giselle starts pulling up her phone and rolling through stuff, probably to add more fuel to the fire, because she's trying to add to it, and Monique can't even done with her speech. Then Karen is doing a good job trying to mediate and not seem like they're ganging up on Monique, but also expressing that she didn't approve of how Monique behaved. But then as this is happening, Monique said that she couldn't remember anything, that she blacked out. Bravo is so shady, because they showed her in the car right after the fight, regurgitating everything in great detail. For somebody who had short-term memory loss, girl, you knew what you were doing. Then the story that she tells, again with the wine glass, is inaccurate. And Robin speaks and tells her, you're lying right now, because what you're saying is not what occurred. And she illustrates to us how the wine glass even got to her mouth in the first place, and let us know that it wasn't Candace, so she's well aware of how that glass hit her, so she's not telling people that story. Robin said that because apparently the blogs came out a couple days later, which Wendy even talked about, that the blogs were basically elaborating on what happened with the fight and basically saying that Monique is the one paying the blogs. I don't know if I believe that Monique is the one who put the blogs out there. I know Monique has people who blog as well, but I understand that Robin has had the same blog situation with Monique in seasons prior. She felt like there was something about Robin's relationship or something about Robin that that was blogged about. I forgot what it was. Somebody remind me. But Robin went after Monique and said Monique was the one who paid her people to put that information out there. Monique says, I don't pay bloggers to do nothing. I don't think Monique pays any bloggers to put any of the information. I do think that when it comes to fights like this in a small town, Potomac, people talk. Monique and these girls weren't the only ones there. There were people there with cameras. There were people, come on. There were the crew members. Some of them may have talked and explained, what they thought happened. They talked to Monique. They talked to Candace. One of them was trying to shove Candace into the car. Like, you need to go. Monique was running through. People talk about it. It was a crazy situation. Of course, stories going to spread. You understand what I'm saying? I understand the timeline. They said, 4 days after is when this blog happened. I think that the blog is not the issue. It's another BS to add to this situation. You don't like Monique and how she handled things. Dr. Wendy hasn't been feeling it with Monique since she came to the show, because she's cool with Candace. That's a fact. Robin has always had an issue with Monique from the get-go. That's also a fact. They had the umbrella situation where Robin was in her face. It's a fact. Robin has finally seen Monique unravel, and they're going to take advantage of the situation. Plus, Robin tends to go with whatever Giselle thinks, and Giselle is sticking with her guns that she is not cool with this. I'm a black woman, and so Robin's going to go ahead and ride her coattail and be okay with it. She does not have her own brain, okay? So then Giselle, after the whole situation, Giselle decides to bring up the fact that she's like, I'm raising women. When I went home, I talked to my children, and they're like 13, and my children told me, don't be around that type of person. And I feel like, and I'm like, bitch, shut up. You don't tell your children half the stuff that you do to other people. You just want to talk about the stuff that you feel is bad. Based on your little biased ass. Tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to those little girls. Tell them that you were shit starter. And while you trying to talk about, I'm trying to set an example, I'm raising women. Giselle is full of shit because she said that she's trying to do it because she has an image to put up. Giselle, shut the hell up. An image? You are telling your girls that it's okay for a man to go around and have all these kids, and not just a man, a pastor, to go ahead and do all the stuff that you said Jamal did to you. And now you're trying to bring him back into your life when your children even tell you that that's not the best option for you. You're in everybody's business and trying to escalate everybody's personal problems to try and take the camera away from your personal life. So we don't talk about the fact that you're making one of the most stupid, dumbass decisions of your life. Ain't no way that Jamal has changed. He is a pastor. He's a man preaching the Bible, sitting in front of people in the congregation, telling them to give them their 10%, taking the money to finance this restaurant he bought these kids. In the meantime, he was out there making babies with all these kids. He was a hypocrite. He's a false prophet. And that's the person that you are using to be the male role model for these little girls you're trying to set an example for. Monique is the least of your worries, girl. Go home and do it right. Then Karen tells Monique the truth about how she feels about Monique attacking Candace, but Karen did tell Monique to run around the table. But she's just trying to tell her, yo, I don't think, now that I've thought about it, I don't think it was the best decision for you to do this. But they're making it seem like Monique has a problem like they did with Portia from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh, you have a problem with No. Monique, girl, if this group are going to do all this and go above and beyond because you whoop somebody's ass, then girl, just go on a different show, get off the show and keep your peace. Your mental health is better than being around these women. They're going I'm not going for this idea that Monique's behavior, yes, it was horrible. I don't think that she should have fought Candace for this. I think that there's other things that Candace has said and done that should have got her ass beat. Not for this, though. There's a lot of things Giselle has done that should have got her ass beat, for real. But I'm not going to put this image out that Monique is this violent black woman and angry. And I'm not doing that. 50's already doing that ignorant shit all over Twitter. I'm not going to add her to this mix. No. Dr. Wendy does ask Monique if Monique is embarrassed. Monique does say, I'm embarrassed. They ask her, are you remorseful? Monique says, I'm not remorseful. But they asked her to kind of, if you're remorseful, you're supposed to apologize to Candace. Monique was very honest in this situation. I don't know if I'll ever be remorseful if I ever beat somebody's ass. I just don't see myself after beating somebody's ass saying I'm sorry. Even if you did, I wouldn't hang out with you. Like, I'm not sorry. I think if I get to the point, for me personally, y'all tell me what your triggers are. Y'all tell me what somebody could do. There's every single person has a trigger. Every person. It doesn't matter, male, female, sanctified, none. Every one of you has a trigger. There's something that somebody can do that can really push you to hit somebody. I know that for a fact. If somebody touches my kids, we're fighting. Okay? If somebody is bullying any members of my family, I'm probably going to beat your ass to let you know that I can be a bigger bully than you. Mind your business. Am I going to fight for somebody talking shit? No. But there's a trigger for every single person. I don't care, white, black, Hispanic. Everybody has a trigger. Period. That's just what it is. But I don't think I will feel remorseful after whooping somebody's ass. I just don't for me. But it seems like Wendy wants Monique to accept and apologize when Monique is saying, I'm not ready. I just gotta figure this out. I don't think you should force an apology that's not coming from a genuine place. If the girl's not remorseful, she's not remorseful. Give her time to figure it out. Don't guilt her into feeling an emotion that she doesn't feel. Then, but Monique, the one thing that I did like about Ashley is Ashley did clear some things up, saying that she's used to Candace behaving a certain way. And she does say something like, sometimes you poke the wrong bear. And yes, you did poke the wrong bear. Candace poked the wrong bear, and that's a fact. Wendy made a good point when she said that there are some people that if they're not remorseful about something that they have done, the chances of them doing it again is high. And that's a fact. I don't feel like Monique is ever going to be in a situation where she feels like she's not going to beat somebody else. If you put Monique in another circumstances with Candace, when Candace does certain things, if that her trigger is people disrespecting her verbally, she can fight again. Portia, the same thing. I think Portia and Cynthia got into it or something. You have to put the right person in the right situation and they'll fight. I don't think that this fight was a deadly situation. I don't. But I don't think Monique is ever not going to fight again. I think that if you put Monique in the right position, she will fight. And Wendy's right about that. Robin is two-faced. Robin's two-faced behind had a lot to say in her confessional. When Monique got up and grabbed or asked to, I think she asked to carry baby Dean, Ashley's baby, while she was talking, Robin said it's a PR stunt. She's out here kissing babies. Monique has babies and she recently just had a baby. So I don't think that her grabbing Dean or carrying Dean when her and Ashley are cool is her being political. I think you've already made up your mind, so it wouldn't matter if she kissed baby or not. You already look at her as somebody who's wrong, so girl, shut up. Then I talked about Wendy making her point about remorseful, and then all the ladies, basically Monique gets up and says that she wants to get help and she's going to talk to her priest and they're going to give her, tips on what she's supposed to do. Karen tells her, that's a good place to start. I support you. It seems like Monique made an allegation here where she said that she just does not want to be a part of this group. She might consider going. I think that's when they said that Monique Samuels considered quitting the show. And some people say that she's fired. I don't think she's fired. I think that she makes a good show, so they're not going to fire her. Ashley said something to her like, you mean you want to take a break but not forever? I think Monique, if she feels like these girls, especially Giselle, is going to start picking on her and try to make her seem like she's crazy, take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Don't deal with these heifers. Move on with your life and, live with your man and have more babies and chill out. Karen is a good friend from what I've seen. She's a good friend, and she is a really good friend too. Ashley seems to be more loyal to Monique. Wendy is duplicitous in certain ways. I know she favors Candace because that's how she got into the group, is through Candace. But I don't know, Dr. Wendy, she's very honest, I will say that, but the jury is still out on how I personally feel with her. I just didn't like her giving this whole, that whole racist ideology about black women life. I didn't like that she did that, and I wasn't cool with that, because I do know that there are situations where it is what it is. But doesn't mean I'm this violent, crazy person. No, but what stupid adult goes to someone, unless you have issues, and say, I'm going to beat somebody for no reason? That don't make no sense. Girl, bye. Giselle. Giselle's spirit irks me. Her spirit irks my soul. And so I'm still trying to figure out the best way to cuss her out. When I get the right words, as the seasons go by, I'll start letting it out. Robin, she need to go on a different show. She bores the hell out of me. She's a follower. I can do with or without her in the show. I can do without her. Okay. The next mid-season, we see a lot going on. It seems like Karen and her husband are going to go through a lot, and I really hope that her and Ray pull it through. But it seems like, there's had some financial situations, and I feel like it put a dent on their marriage when Ray got that whole tax situation going on. Candace is going to find out that Ashley was asked to write a letter on Monique's behalf when she tried to file a lawsuit, like I said, for Monique to get in trouble or go to jail or have to compensate her for the physical altercation, which the judge dropped. She tells Ashley fuck you because she feels betrayed, but Ashley has a right to behave the way she wants to behave. And Candace, you went after her when she had a miscarriage, so I don't see her ever respecting you, girl. Stop. Giselle talking about respecting somebody. Giselle, respect yourself first and understand that you do need to bring the Jamal as the role model for your kids. If you're like, no. So respect yourself first before you start telling somebody else about how much you don't respect them. Girl, bye. I don't know about Robin and her guy. I think that, I don't know what's going on with those two. I can't wait to see what's going on. Are they going to get married? Like, what's the deal? Anyway, please like, subscribe, notification bell. Make sure you hear everything I said. Don't just react to some of the stuff. Hear the whole thing, because some of y'all like to hear what you want to hear. Okay, hear the whole thing, analyze it, and then respond. You guys have a good evening. Bye.